If you're truly tired of living the way you've been living, if you're ready to take control of your life, let me tell you, it's the only life you've got. And here's the real thing: when the sand's gone, it's gone. Time is precious. You can't get back what's already passed. Now, it doesn't matter where you've been, what mistakes you've made, or what you didn't do before. None of that holds you back unless you let it. The past is over. Let the dead bury the dead. Our task is to take control of our life right now. That's what real transformation is all about. Too many people get stuck in the past. They spend their time living in what could have been or what should have been. They carry regrets, disappointments, missed opportunities. But I'm telling you, that's a trap. The past is gone, and there's nothing you can do to change it. The only time you've got is the present, right here, right now. And if you spend your energy worrying about what's already behind you or getting anxious about a future that hasn't even happened yet, you're wasting the precious time you have today. Life is about making up your mind to do what's right for you right now. If you focus on that, on what's within your control, you'll find that you're building a better life step by step. That's the real secret. My mentor once said to me, "Young man, if you will change, everything will change for you. If you will get better, everything in your life will get better." That was a message that shook me to my core. He went on, "If you'll change your philosophy, if you'll improve your habits, if you refine the way you think, if you take on new disciplines and walk away from the old patterns that held you back, remarkable things will happen. Your life can change in ways you can't even imagine. But it starts with you, not the world around you." Before I met my mentor, Mr. Schoaf, I used to cross my fingers and hope things would change. I'd sit there wishing that the government would change, that my boss would give me a raise, that the economy would turn around, or that prices would go down. I was hoping something outside of me would shift to make my life better. But then Mr. Schoaf taught me something profound. None of those things are under my control. They're like the wind that blow. The wind blows on all of us. Every one of us faces challenges, unexpected turns, and circumstances we didn't ask for. But the truth is, the wind doesn't determine where you go. It's the set of your sail that determines your direction. Sure, life will throw things at you, but it's how you adjust, how you steer your ship, that will take you where you want to go. And let me tell you, here in America, we've got the most favorable wind in recorded history. We live in a time of freedom, democracy, and opportunity. Even with all our struggles, we've got the best circumstances compared to the last 6,500 years of history. The wind is blowing in our favor. But, and this is crucial, if you just sit there and let the wind blow, you'll drift. You won't end up where you want to be. You've got to set your sail with intention. You've got to take control of where your life is headed. The wind won't take you to your dreams. It won't lead you to the success, wealth, or fulfillment you want. You have to use the wind, steer your ship, and chart your own course. So don't leave your future up to chance. Don't wait for the economy to shift for someone else to make life easier for you. The real shift, the paradigm shift, starts within you. Decide to change your direction. Decide to adjust your sail. That's where your power lies. If you take responsibility for your life, if you commit to personal growth and discipline, all kinds of remarkable things can happen. The future is yours to create, but only if you choose to take control today. Here's something important that we all need to learn. That is how to set a good sail. One of the most valuable lessons my teacher ever gave me back in those early days was just that. He said, "Jim, the wind is going to blow however it's going to blow. You can't control the wind. Politics will be politics. The economy will be the economy. And no matter how it turns out, that's the way it's going to be." He paused and then told me something that changed my life. The key is not to wish for a better wind that's naive. The key is to wish for the wisdom, the skills, and the learning so that you can set a better sail. You see, it's not about hoping that external circumstances will change to make life easier for you. No, the real power lies in how you adjust to the winds of life. The winds of change, difficulty, and opportunity blow on us all. What matters is whether you've developed the ability to set your sail in such a way that you'll get to where you want to go, no matter which way the wind blows. So that's exactly what I did at age 25. I made a decision. I went to work not on the economy, not on politics, not on my community, and certainly not on trying to change my boss or the company I work for. I didn't spend time wishing for a better set of circumstances. Instead, I went to work on me. I took to heart what my mentor had told me, that if I would change, my income would change. If I would change, my bank account would change. If I would change, my future would change. And let me tell you, he was right. In those early years, the first 6 years of my economic life, I wound up broke. Pennies in my pocket, nothing in the bank, and always behind on my promises. The second 6 years, however, were completely different. I went from being broke to being rich. Now, here's the interesting part. During those second 6 years, the government didn't change. The economy didn't suddenly shift in my favor. Companies were still paying about the same, and my negative relatives, well, they stayed just as negative. But something was different. I was not the same. And that made all the difference. See, that's the secret. You have to change. If you change, everything around you starts to shift. It's not the wind. It's the set of your sail. Have you ever wondered why some of the most brilliant people you've ever met seem to struggle from cradle to casket? You might look at them and think they're so smart, so talented. Why aren't they successful? Why aren't they rich? If they're so bright, why are they working so hard for so little and for so long? You see, those are important questions, and there are answers. But the answer isn't always in their intelligence or talent. It's in their philosophy, their mindset, and whether they've learned to set their sail correctly. When I was 26 years old, I was puzzled by those same questions. I was doing what many people do, nothing. I was going in the wrong direction, and I wasn't just wandering, I was picking up speed. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter how fast you're moving if you're heading the wrong way. The faster you go, the worse it gets. What I needed wasn't more speed or more effort. I needed to change my direction. I often say that success is something you attract by the person you become. The world is full of people trying to change their external circumstances without doing the hard work. They want better results without becoming better people. But here's the truth. If you want your life to change, you have to change. If you want more, you have to become more. Now, if you take a look at your bank account, and maybe it's not where you want it to be, you think, I need more money. But money is just the result, it's the effect, the cause. That's you, your thinking, your habits, your disciplines. If you work on those, the results will follow. As you grow, as you become more valuable to the marketplace, everything in your life starts to improve. So if you're waiting for the government, the economy, or your boss to change, you might be waiting a long time. But if you go to work on you, if you decide to change your sail, you'll find that the winds, no matter how they blow, will take you exactly where you want to go. That's the power of personal growth, personal development. When you change, everything else changes for you. And that's a promise I can give you. I'll tell you, I didn't start out on the path to success. In fact, I left school early, barely spent a couple of months in high school. I didn't have a half-decent job to speak of. By the time I was 26 years old, I found myself going nowhere fast. Then one day, this man sat down with me. He said, Jim, why don't you change your results? Now, here's the thing. Up until that point, I hadn't really given much thought to my results. I never stopped to ask myself the important questions. How happy am I? What kind of money am I earning? How do I spend my days? Who am I spending my time with? What are my friends like? See, it never occurred to me that all those things, your happiness, your income, your relationships, your health, are shaped by the program you're running, the internal code that's guiding your life. Most people don't realize that everything that happens in their life happens in an orderly way based on the thoughts and habits they've programmed into themselves. But then something incredible happened. That same man who sat down with me suggested me a book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That book was a game changer for me. Fortunately for me, I didn't just glance through it. I did exactly what he suggested. I followed the principles in that book to the letter. And wouldn't you know it, everything in my life started to change. I became fascinated with the information. I couldn't get enough of it. I was reading, studying, attending seminars, and listening to recordings every chance I got. And the more I absorbed, the faster my life began to transform. Here's the amazing part. Just a small shift in direction can lead to a massive change in your destination. Let's say you're standing here, heading in this direction. If you keep going that way, 5 years from now, you'll end up over here. But what if you make just a few changes, just a few adjustments in your daily disciplines, your mindset, or your habits? Suddenly, you're heading in a new direction. And 5 years from now, you'll wind up in a completely different place, a place of growth, success, and fulfillment. Maybe this weekend, you've already decided on a few changes you want to make, some new goals, perhaps. Maybe you've made some decisions about your finances, your health, your relationships, or your future. I wish I could hear every one of your stories. I wish I could track the progress of what's going to happen to all of you after this weekend, after you've committed to learning, studying, and applying these principles. The decisions you've made here today will ripple out into every area of your life. The amount of progress, success, and productivity that will come from this is going to be incredible. I often think about how easily we can change our destination with just a few simple decisions. Right now, you might be headed this way. Maybe your results aren't where you want them to be because of a lack of discipline, direction, or focus. But it doesn't take much to change course. A few decisions to commit to learning more, developing new habits, setting clear goals, and taking consistent action can shift your path dramatically. At 25, I didn't even have a list of goals. I was drifting, headed down a road that wouldn't have led me to anything remarkable. But once I started setting goals and changing my habits, everything began to shift. In less than 7 years, I became a millionaire. Now that was just my economic success. But the joy of productivity, the satisfaction of becoming valuable to the marketplace, to my family, and to my inner circle, that was priceless. I often think about where I would have been if I hadn't met my mentor. If I'd kept going down the path I was on, I would have been okay. My kids wouldn't have starved. We might have scraped by, found a place to live, but that's all. The joy of becoming a person of value, the fulfillment of reaching my potential, and the rewards that come with it, I would have missed all of it if I hadn't changed direction. But here's what I'm thankful for: the chain of circumstances that brought me to that moment of change. It's amazing when you think about it, the twists and turns, the closed doors and open doors that led me to that point. It didn't just happen by chance. Certain events had to line up for me to meet my mentor, to read that book, to be in the right place at the right time. Now think about you. Imagine the series of events that led you to sit here today in this room on this day. All the twists and turns, the decisions you made, the circumstances that arranged themselves, it's nothing short of miraculous. One thing had to happen for another thing to happen, and here you are, ready to make a change, ready to learn and grow. It's not by accident. You didn't just drop out of the sky. And let me tell you, this moment has the power to change the entire course of your life. Just a few new decisions, a few adjustments, a commitment to personal growth, and in 5 years, you'll look back and see how far you've come. I wish I could be there to see all the incredible success that will come from the decisions you make this weekend. But I can tell you this, if you set your sail right now, there's no telling how far you can go. Sometimes all we can say is, wow. Life is a mystery, and you know what? That's okay. We don't always need to have the answers. Part of what makes life so fascinating is that we can stand back, take it all in, and just say, wow, this is incredible. There's no need to dissect every piece of it. The beauty is in the mystery. But here's the key: now that we're here, now that we're alive and experiencing this journey, how can we make the most of it? How can we, both collectively and individually, affect each other's lives in a meaningful way? Well, it starts with what we've already been doing. Studying, learning, teaching, shaking hands, sharing stories. You see, that's how we grow. That's how we make that small journey toward a new direction, toward a better future for ourselves and for others. So here's a simple but powerful note for you. It's only a small journey to a new direction. Jot that down. It doesn't take much to change the course of your life. A few new ideas, a little learning, a little shift in mindset, and you'll be amazed at how far that new direction can take you. Now, here's something to consider. We all come into this world with a program, don't we? Before you were even born, you had a genetic code handed down from your parents, your grandparents, and so on. That program shapes a lot of who you are. But let me tell you something, it doesn't stop there. Beyond the genetic programming, we get a mental program. We pick it up from our environment, from the people around us, from society, and from our upbringing. This program, this paradigm, is nothing more than a collection of ideas that have been placed in your subconscious mind. And the scary part is, it's controlling your behavior. If you really stop to think about it, you'll see how true this is. Why do you live the way you live? Why do you do what you do? Why don't you live the life you really want to live? It's because of that program. Somebody else put those ideas in there and they've been running the show. You've been living out a script that was written by other people, parents, teachers, society, without even realizing it. I've mentioned before the person who's absolutely brilliant but still broke. Have you ever wondered why? Why does someone with all the smarts, all the knowledge, still struggle financially? It's because knowledge alone isn't enough. The program they're running, the paradigm they've been stuck in, is holding them back from achieving what they're truly capable of. And here's where school gets it wrong. School teaches us to gather information. They hand us a book, make us memorize it, give us an exam, and if we answer the questions correctly, they say we're educated. But here's the reality that's not education. That's just information. Gathering information doesn't change your life. It doesn't make you successful. What school often fails to teach is how to apply that information, how to think, how to shift your mindset, and how to break free from the limiting paradigms that keep you stuck. Real education comes from learning how to change yourself, how to take control of your thinking, and how to reprogram your mind for success. And let me tell you, it's not just about intelligence. It's about understanding how to break free from that old programming. It's about shifting your thinking, adopting new habits, and creating a new paradigm that aligns with the life you want to live, not the life you've been programmed to live. Now, don't misunderstand me, there's value in knowledge. But knowledge without action is like having a library of books you never read. It's potential without purpose. What you need is wisdom, and wisdom is the application of knowledge. It's knowing what to do and then actually doing it. So here's the real lesson. It doesn't matter where you've come from or what program you've been running up to this point. What matters is what you decide to do now. You can choose to keep following the same script, or you can rewrite it. You can start the journey toward a new direction, and I promise you it only takes a small shift to change everything. Start today. Take a look at your results, your happiness, your income, your relationships, and ask yourself, is this the life I want to live? If not, then it's time to change your program. Time to reprogram your mind, to shift your paradigm, and to take control of your future. And remember, it's only a small journey to a new direction. We've all been taught that knowledge is power. But let me tell you something that's going to make you think twice. Knowledge is not power. If knowledge alone were power, every librarian in the world would be a billionaire. Think about it. Librarians are surrounded by more knowledge than most of us could ever read in a lifetime. The great works of history, the scientific breakthroughs, the secrets of success, they're all on the shelves right there. But knowledge sitting on a shelf doesn't do anything by itself. See, here's the truth. Knowledge is potential power, but it only becomes real power when it's applied. It has to be organized, directed, and used with purpose. You can fill your head with facts, but until you take those facts, those ideas, and put them into action, they won't change your life. Action is what transforms knowledge into power. And now a big part of life is about preparing for that moment when you can take action. Think about it. When you enter the first grade, you're not staying there forever. You're just preparing for the second grade. Once you've gone through 2 grades, you're getting ready for the third. It's a process, step by step. And sometimes it feels long. Sometimes it seems like you'll never get to that performance you really want to give. But preparation takes time. You don't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. It takes time to get ready. Now, here's a powerful thought. Life wasn't designed to give us what we want nor what we need. Life was designed to give us what we deserve. Every value, every reward, everything you want out of life, you have to earn it. That's the law of the universe. You can wish, hope, and dream all day, but unless you put in the work, unless you give first, you'll never receive. It's like the old saying, those who give receive. If you want to receive more, don't focus on receiving. Focus on giving. Become a good giver. Become someone who adds value to others, someone who brings something to the table, and life will reward you in kind. And if you want to find success, don't sit around waiting for it to show up at your doorstep. Go searching for it. The people who search, who seek out opportunities, are the ones who find them. You say you need some good ideas to change your life? Well, those ideas aren't going to fall into your lap because you need them. They're going to show up because you went out there and looked for them. You've got to put yourself in the right environment. Go to the class, attend the workshop, pick up the book, listen to the audio program, seek out where good ideas are being taught and discussed. Good ideas aren't wasted on those who aren't ready. If you're not prepared, opportunity is going to pass you by. You can't wait for fortune to just land in your lap. You have to prepare yourself to be ready for it when it comes. And make no mistake, it's going to come. Opportunity always does. But the question is, will you be ready to grab hold of it? Or will it pass you by because you didn't take the time to prepare? Here's what I focus on. I want to be effective this year, yes, but I'm always looking ahead, preparing myself for next year. I'm thinking about how I can be better. How can my ideas be sharper? How can I make my message clearer, stronger, more impactful? How can I reach the people next year that I haven't reached this year? How can I dig deeper into my own mind and soul to connect with others on a higher level? Some people hear my message and say, hey, great speech, and move on. But I want to be more than just a good speech. I want to make an impact, a lasting impact. I want my words to resonate, to make people think, to make them act. And that takes work. That takes constant preparation, constant improvement. And let me tell you, just like you can't skip from the 5th grade to the 10th grade, you can't rush this process. There's no shortcut to success. You have to go through the grades, through the steps, through the process. But the more prepared you are, the more you've put in the work, the more you've sharpened your skills, the more you're going to get out of each stage of the journey. When that 10th grade finally comes, you'll be able to cash in twice, 3 times, 5 times more than if you had just coasted along. Why? Because you're ready, you're prepared, you've done the work. I'm always preparing myself for what's to come, not just for this year, but for next year and the year after that. I want to be equipped not only for today's challenges, but for the future ones. By the time the year 2000 came, I wanted to be so well prepared that I could handle anything. And when the years 2001, 2002, 2003 rolled around, I wanted to be even better. And that's not just about business, it's about life. I want to be a better person, a better leader, a better speaker, a better friend, a better mentor. I want to continually grow so that I can serve better, give more, and live a life that truly matters. And here's the thing, you can do the same. You don't have to wait until next year to start preparing for your future. You can start right now. What you do today is setting the stage for what happens tomorrow. You're building your future brick by brick with every decision you make, every action you take. So remember, it's not about wishing for a better life, it's about preparing for it. And when you're ready, when you've done the work, life will give you exactly what you deserve. That's the law of the universe. That's the way it works. So let's get to work today, tomorrow, and every day after that. Now here's a lesson that'll serve you well. There's great power in self-reliance. And what do I mean by that? Self-reliance means you look primarily to yourself. Sure, it would be great if everything was handed to us on a silver platter. It'd be nice if people just gave you the tools, the opportunities, the success. It'd be convenient if everyone in your circle did exactly what they're supposed to do every time. But let me tell you the truth, that's not how life works. You see, here's what you've got to understand. You have to rely on yourself first. That doesn't mean you don't work with others or build a great team. But it does mean you don't wait around for someone else to hand you the keys to success. If you're always looking outside for someone else to fix your problems, you're going to be waiting a long time. Now, of course, it's great to have help, and we all need it. But primarily, you've got to say, I'm the person responsible. You've got to tell yourself, I'm the one who's going to make this happen. I'll learn the necessary skills. I'll make the necessary changes. I'll put in the work. If your success depends on having a team of people who do their job well, that's fine, build that team. But understand this. At the end of the day, you are the final backstop. If the ball gets dropped, if something goes wrong, you have to be the one who steps up and fills in the gap. You've got to be the one that people can count on. You've got to be the person that says, if this gets missed, I'll catch it. If something falls through the cracks, I'll make sure it gets done. We see this when we conduct meetings, don't we? We see it when we're training a group, big or small. Sometimes someone misses something, someone overlooks a detail, someone doesn't quite grasp the lesson, and guess what? You've got to step in. You've got to make sure the work still gets done, the lesson still gets learned. That's the power of self-reliance. Here's a critical point. Self-reliance is about taking ownership of your own development. You can't rely on someone else to make you successful. You can't rely on others to hand you the skills, the mindset, or the discipline you need. You've got to go out there and get it yourself. If you want to lead people, if you want to help them learn their skills first, you must master your own. And that means taking responsibility for your growth, your learning, your progress. Don't wait for someone to teach you everything. Don't wait for the perfect conditions. Start now where you are with what you have. And here's something else. Never complain and never explain. That's a tough one for a lot of people, but it's vital. When things go wrong, and they will, don't waste time complaining. Complaining drains your energy and it solves nothing. It's a distraction. And don't waste time explaining either. You don't owe anyone a long-winded explanation for why things didn't work out. Just fix it. Take action. Be solution-oriented.